what I see happening now is that soon MDMA for trauma is going to be available to the countless numbers of people out there that have trauma.
Wait, hold on. Why is David Huberman saying that MDMA is going to be a pharmaceutical drug soon? Let's deep dive. As it turns out, history was to be made on the 4th of June 2024, when the FDA held a public advisory committee meeting on MDMA-assisted therapy. The question at hand was whether the commonly known party drug MDMA is suitable for treating PTSD. The Independent Scientific Advisory Committee voted 9-2 that human trials of MDMA did not prove its efficacy, and 10-1 that the risks outweighed its benefits. It felt strange to vote no, said committee member and statistician Satish Iyengar, given that the drug's effects seem so strong. I'm sorry, Mr. Huberman. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be that soon. But it does make me curious. Is the hype about MDMA legitimate? What kind of new studies were done? And finally, what results did they got? Let's find out. I think the most important study was conducted by MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, and was published in September 2023 in Nature Medicine. It was a phase 3 study, which is the last and crucial step before getting a drug approved, by trying to confirm earlier results through testing them on a broader scale of people and finding adverse effects. In it, they were researching the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder with MDMA-assisted therapy. The study was designed as an 18-week intervention, consisting of 4 weeks of preparation and 12 weeks of treatment, which is split up into 3 separate MDMA-assisted therapy sessions. The preparation was intended for establishing a therapeutic alliance and providing guidance on how the participant could remain present with the memories and emotions that could arise during treatment. Interestingly, participants were tapered off all psychiatric medications before the treatment to avoid potential drug interactions and confounding efficacies. The 3 MDMA-assisted therapy sessions were spaced apart 3 to 5 weeks and consisted of an 8-hour experimental session in which participants either got MDMA or placebo, respectively through their randomly predetermined group. Participants received a split dose of 120 milligrams in the first session and 180 milligrams in the second and last. Most participants stayed overnight at the facility, while some went home with a support person. The first of the 3 90-minute integration sessions took place in the morning after the experimental session, while the other 2 were scheduled for the upcoming weeks. The integration sessions should help participants process and understand the experience while being accompanied by a 2-person therapy team, including at least 1 licensed therapist. To measure the effects, they used the CAPS-5, which is the gold standard for assessing PTSD, with 30 items, and the SDS, short for Sheehan Disability Scale, which is a self-reported assessment of functional impairment consisting of 5 items. They took those scores at 4 points during the intervention, shortly before the first experimental session, at week 8, week 13, and after the end of the treatment period. Something that I'm not covering, yet very well done, is the procedure involved in selecting and screening their participants. They did an amazing job because they focused on having an ethnically and gender diverse set of people. But for more details, the links are in the video description. Without further ado, let's look at the results. Those who received MDMA-assisted therapy experienced a substantial reduction in their PTSD symptoms, with an average improvement of about 24 points on the CAPS-5. In contrast, those who received placebo therapy saw an average improvement of only 15 points. The difference of about 9 points indicates that MDMA therapy was significantly more effective than the placebo treatment. Additionally, therapy helped improve the participants' daily functioning, Those in the MDMA group reported a decrease of 3.3 points on the Sheehan Disability Scale, where the placebo group reported a smaller decrease of 2.1 points, which is also a statistically significant difference, suggesting that MDMA therapy not only alleviates PTSD symptoms, but also enhances the participant's ability to function in everyday life. In terms of safety, even though almost everyone experienced at least one treatment-emergent adverse event, only 5 participants in the MDMA group experienced severe side effects, compared to only 2 in the placebo group. But most importantly, no serious TEAE like death, life-threatening conditions, or prolonged hospitalization occurred. It's just impressive that 37 of 52 participants no longer met criteria for PTSD by study end, given that PTSD is a serious neuropsychiatric condition affecting approximately 5% of the US population each year. The authors highlight that trauma-focused psychotherapies are the gold standard treatment for PTSD, and that the commonly used SSRIs do not work on 35 to 47% of individuals. MDMA simultaneously induces pro-social feelings and softens responses to emotionally challenging and fearful stimuli, potentially enhancing the ability of individuals with PTSD to benefit from psychotherapy by reducing sensations of fear, threat, and negative emotionality. MDMA-assisted therapy creates a strong case as a solution for a problem that's very cost-intensive not only for the individuals but also for the economy and society. But the authors know that they will need data from ongoing follow-ups of participants from phase 2 and 3 studies to assess the long-term effectiveness, which is just not yet available at this time. For now, only future will tell. It's a fascinating time to be alive and watch these developments take place. I make sure to cover new studies and news on this topic, so make sure to subscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you want to see some more deep dives into new and fascinating studies, check out my channel or watch my last video on a 20-year-long study investigating the relationship between loneliness and conspiratory ideas.